Hi folks, well it's been a couple of weeks and it's time for a look around the greenhouse, but I'm not going to do that this time because as you can see things are growing really quite well in here, but today we're going to harvest an onion. I thought there wasn't really any limit on how close together we could get these onions because they were growing hydroponically and there's no competition for nutrients, but we've kind of run out of space there. This is actually right up in contact with the one next door to it, and we could do with some onions to use this week, and this one's heading towards the right sort of stage. The leaves have started to die off now, it's not growing any new ones, and this one's getting a bit soft and soggy, not terrible yet. But I thought we'd have a look at it. Look at that thing. That's just superb. So I'm going to give that a weigh in and see how we've done. This is my first ever hydroponic onion, and these are these Taylor Moss Onion Electric used young growth of spring onions, but certainly looks a bit bigger than they do on the packet. So it's obviously been quite a happy onion. Let's put that on the scales and see how we weigh in. So, first onion I've ever grown hydroponically, weighs in at 593 grams. What's that in? 20 ounces. Carrots. Not sure what any of those are. Yep, 592 grams, so very pleased with that. That's about the size of kind of 3 or 4 normal onions. So, superb. Right, I am going to give you a quick look around the rest of the greenhouses now. So these are the Marigold burpees that Trace Waters sent me, which are coming along nicely. They're ready to go into a pot now. My Dutch bucket golden berries had a bit of an accident there. It just got too big for its boots and it's broken this stem off here. This actually happened about 4 or 5 days ago, and I was expecting it to wilt and look like it was struggling, but no, it's still growing quite happily, so leaving that one going. Peppers are doing quite nicely there in the Dutch buckets. Those peppers are getting nice and big. Where the garlic was, I've just taken some of the strawberry runners that I had dangling off the plants, done absolutely nothing about trying to root them whatsoever, just stuck them in the spare grow bed in strong sunlight, and most of them are looking alright. That one's doing particularly well. They obviously suffered a bit in the first couple of days and there's a few bits of leaves that have dried up, but for the most part they're I think they're putting down roots, so we'll be doing okay there. The onions, you've just seen me pull one of them out, but they're doing really quite well. A few of them have now gone kind of soft and soggy at the stems and bent over, and I think those are the ones that are nearly ready. The one I pulled out was the one that was the most soft and soggy on the stems. I was really quite impressed by that. Goldenberry up here has gone to a different place. It was too big for its boots and it was blocking the rail. I've shot a lot of footage of that, which I might include here. Rather unfortunately, this top goldenberry in the top rail, which is doing fantastically, is going to have to come out because the roots are totally blocking that rail now, and it's just emptying all its nutrients on the floor. There's a big damp patch under there, and the strawberries are not getting fed anymore because over the course of today it's just poured all the water on the ground. So I'm going to have to try and get that mess out. I'm going to see if I can transfer it to a DWC bucket, but it's big and it's heavy and it's tied in with all the other plants and it might just not come out in one piece. So, see how we get on. So I harvested the golden berries that I could find on there, and hopefully some of them will ripen. A few of them are a bit bigger than the ones that I tasted last week. It'll be 2 weeks by the time you see this video, but yeah, they're growing inside there. But it's a great shame to have had to pull that plant out, but it was killing all the strawberries. And I'm not surprised because the roots on this were they're absolutely solid. I think the roots have grafted to each other inside, and that's not actually a fibrous mat that you can particularly get inside of. It's an absolutely solid blockage. It was a real pain getting that out. And the plant itself, well, it's been incredibly heavily pruned, but I'm going to see if I can do that in DWC in the other greenhouse. It might live, so we'll give it a try. Great shame to lose all that fruit, but had to be done because my strawberries are all looking really quite sad there. The water wasn't flowing, the roots have been getting no oxygen and getting far too hot, and things aren't looking too great. And I want the strawberries, and I've got other golden berries anyway, so we've now cleared the blockage, and the water is all draining away nicely there. So I can actually do my nutrient changes now, and as for getting more strawberries to grow in there, the runners from the plant above are plenty long enough to reach there, so I can just stick them in some net cups and we should be in business. But that's freed up a lot of space for this golden berry down in the bottom rail, and that's coming along nicely. Tomatoes, the sweet aperitifs are now ripening beautifully. Strawberries, some of them are looking okay, but I don't know if I can see any here. Certainly that one up at the top's not too happy. And I've got problems with spider mites as well, and I've been treating that with Canna Cure, but I don't know if we can get this in focus. Just by my finger there's a little spider's web with lots of little baby spider mites in, so I need to spray that again today. Brandywine is just getting bigger and bigger. I don't know what the weight is in these two fruit here. It's going to be significant. They're absolute monster blooms there. They're mega blooms I think they're called, but they're absolute monsters. And then we've got a bunch of other fruit coming all over the rest of the plant as well, so very happy with that. Just thought I'd show this lettuce salad bowl, which is turning into some vine type of lettuce. I keep harvesting leaves off the bottom and giving them to the bunnies, and it just keeps growing more and more further and further along. And of course, if you do actually just cut that vine off, then it first of all puts out little leaves like that, and then after a few weeks it looks just like a new plant again. Hello Pussycat. You've been missed in videos. People have been asking what's been happening to you. Hello. So that's the remains of the old golden berry, and I did try drying out the fruit to see if it had ripened, but it didn't. It just went rotten inside instead, so that's all chucked out the window. Hello Spotty Bob. You can see what's going on. You want to be a star. Hello. Come on, out the way. So here in greenhouse number 2, the golden berry in the corner is looking a lot better since I switched it over to Master Blend, which is higher in nitrogen, and that's got pretty much all its colour back and is growing really quite well. This Brandywine that looked very close to dead a few months ago is now going absolutely rampant. I've been not really side shooting this very much because it needed a lot of growth to come on it, so I just left all the side shoots and now it's all over the place, but quite happy with some fruit on it. This is a sun cherry red cherry hybrid that Trace Waters sent me. We've got lots of fruit there. It's ripening as fast as we can eat it now. My sweet aperitif has fallen over today. I need to string that up, but that's doing quite well again with fruit ripening on it. And this Brandywine that's just in a 5 litre tub is again doing superbly. No fruit on that yet. Oh no, there we go. Got a couple of tomatoes coming on that one now. So that's looking quite happy. My son's butterbean that he grew at school is looking far healthier now. It's growing hydroponically and that seems to be flowering there. Strawberry in my hydroponic wicking pot not looking so good, and the other golden berry that was in the top NFT rail now looking quite happy. It's got a massive DWC bucket bubbling away there and starting to put out some new roots and grow again, so quite pleased with that. That hasn't done badly, and I mean that's had 99% of its roots hacked off. I was so surprised it didn't wilt up. It was just sitting in tap water, so you can see it's suffering a bit of a nitrogen deficiency at the moment, just because it's spent a week with no nutrients whatsoever. But it's back on the go now, so should be a happy plant. So that's it, short and sweet for today, folks. Everything's growing really well. The onions look amazing, they smell fantastic. I've been very busy today and I've got a lot more to do, so call it quits here. Anyway, hope you're all having a great weekend and see you next time. Cheers!